Have you ever made a decision and then later that day you kind of stop and think, wait, why did I do that? Well, what if I told you that choice wasn't entirely yours? Today, we're diving headfirst into the shadowy world of dark psychology to see how our minds can be played and, more importantly, how to take back the controls. Think about that for a second. It really sets the stage, doesn't it? You believe you're making your own moves, moving freely across the board. But what if someone else is secretly orchestrating the entire game? Your anger, your apologies, even that quick yes. It could all be part of a script someone else wrote for you, maybe even days ago. So what even is dark psychology? Well, at its core, it's the science of manipulation. It's about understanding how we humans tick so well that you can influence someone's thoughts and actions, often without them having a clue. It creates this illusion where you feel like you're in the driver's seat, but really, someone else has a remote control for your brain.
Okay, so let's get into the nitty-gritty. To protect ourselves, we first need to understand the playbook, right? We're going to break down 5 of the most common, most effective traps that manipulators love to set. And I'm telling you, once you see them, you can't unsee them.
First up, we've got one of the most powerful weapons in the emotional arsenal, the guilt missile. It's designed for one thing and one thing only, to make you feel terrible for setting a perfectly healthy boundary. Just picture this. You are absolutely swamped with work, or maybe you're studying for a huge exam. A close friend messages you asking for a big favor, and they need it right now. You politely say no, explaining you're busy. And then it comes, that line. And just like that, you're made to feel like the bad guy.
So here's what's actually happening in your brain. The guilt missile is engineered to completely bypass your rational mind. It doesn't argue with facts, it attacks your character. You start asking yourself, am I a bad friend? Am I selfish? Before you know it, logic is out the window, you're running on pure emotion, and you've probably just ditched your own important work to do what they want.
All right, next we have a tactic that just thrives on pressure. It's called the urgency trap. And this is all about forcing your hand by making you believe you have to act now or it'll be too late.
So you're deep into studying for a major exam that's tomorrow. A friend bursts in, all panicked, saying you have to join their online game immediately or the whole team's reputation is toast. Suddenly, the stakes feel sky high and you've got to make a decision in a split second.
You know, this tactic is brilliant because it's so simple. It manufactures a crisis to shut down your thinking. You see this everywhere in marketing, right? Limited time offer, only 2 left in stock. As the author Rolf Dobelli puts it, when urgency is created, reasoning stops. Emotion just takes over and you make a snap decision you probably wouldn't make if you had just 5 minutes to think.
This one. This one is sneaky because it feels so good when it happens. The flattery trap. It uses praise not as a genuine compliment, but as a tool, a key to unlock your cooperation.
Let's say you're in a group project. Someone comes up to you and lays it on thick with something like this. Your ego just puffs up like a balloon. I mean, it feels amazing to be seen as the genius of the group, right? So you immediately say yes to the extra work, not even stopping to think about the mountain of stuff you already have to do.
This is a classic 2-step con. First, they massage your ego. They make you feel incredible. Then, while you're basking in that glow, they slide the responsibility right onto your plate. It's just like Robert Greene wrote, appeal to people's ego and you can make them your slave. You think you're being appreciated, but what's really happening is you're being used.
Okay, now we are moving into much more dangerous territory. Emotional blackmail is a truly destructive tactic, and it's often disguised as love or deep affection, which makes it incredibly hard to spot.
This trap uses the very foundation of a relationship as a weapon. It turns love into a constant test. Every request becomes a way to prove your affection, and you're constantly put in a position where you have to sacrifice your own boundaries, your privacy, or your other commitments, all in the name of love. And that's precisely why it's so devastatingly effective. It doesn't attack your logic. It targets the softest, most vulnerable parts of your heart. It backs you into a corner where you feel like you have to choose between your own values and proving your love. It's a game where you're forced to break your own rules just to follow theirs. And finally, we've arrived at the most insidious trap of all, the dependency loop. This isn't just a one-time trick, oh no. This is a long-term strategy designed to make you completely emotionally reliant on the manipulator. So here's how it plays out. Step 1. They shower you with attention. Non-stop texts, calls, they make you feel like you're the most important person in the world. Step 2. Just when you're used to it, they slowly start to pull back.
The texts slow down, they get distant. Step 3. You start to feel anxious, confused. You immediately think, what did I do wrong? And boom, right there, the power dynamic has completely flipped. Now you're chasing their approval and they have all the control.
These traps, they're running 24/7. In friendships, at work, in romantic relationships, everywhere. Recognizing them is a huge first step. But the real question is, okay, once you've spotted the manipulation, what do you actually do? How do you defend yourself?
Well, let's talk about that. It's time to install your mental antivirus. I'm going to give you 3 simple but seriously powerful techniques that act as a shield against these kinds of psychological attacks.
Here they are. It all comes down to these 3 hacks, if you will. Number 1, the power of the pause. Number 2, the second opinion. And number 3, trusting your gut feeling. See, they aren't complicated, but trust me, they are incredibly effective at breaking a manipulator's spell. Let's quickly break these down. First up, the power of the pause. When someone hits you with one of those urgent, emotional demands, just stop. Take a breath. Even 1 second can be the difference between an emotional reaction and a thoughtful, logical response. Next, get a second opinion. Pull a trusted friend aside. They're not in the emotional bubble, so they can often spot the red flags you're too close to see. And finally, and this is so important, trust your gut. That weird feeling in your stomach, that's not nothing. That's your subconscious alarm system going off, detecting patterns your conscious mind might be trying to explain away. Listen to it. You know, just understanding these techniques is a form of power. It really is. It lets you see the hidden strings in our interactions with each other. But with that power comes a very real responsibility.
And that brings us to the choice you now face. With this knowledge, you can take the low road. You can use these tricks to exploit people, to turn them into puppets for your own benefit. Or you can take the high road. You can use this awareness to protect yourself, and just as importantly, to protect and empower the people around you.
I want to leave you with this thought from Robert Greene. True power isn't about controlling people. It's about knowing you can, but choosing compassion and restraint instead. The choice, as always, is yours.